Hi guys, this tutorial is on how to cut this trending bubu kaftan with a design at the front. It has a pocket on both sides. It is easy to make. If this is what interests you, kindly stay to the end of this tutorial.
I have this fabric. This is an adire fabric, and I have this green because I will have to pick a color from this design. So I decided to go with this color. This is a crepe. It's just a small crepe. You don't need much. You don't even need up to half yard. Yeah. Then I have the matching thread, chalk, our scissors, then paper gum, because this paper gum is what we use to fuse this crepe. Let's get started with the tutorial. The length I'll be using for this tutorial is a length of 55 inches. I'll be folding it into 4. Then I'll rule 1 inch. I'm going to mark 1 inch and rule it. From there, we are going to start drafting. So this 1 inch here serve as our starting point. Then I'm going to mark the length of the dress, 55 inches. So I'll add 1 inch to it down here, making 56 inches. Okay guys, then the next thing to do is to measure the length of the sleeve. Now, how do you measure the length of the sleeve? I've also taught it in my last tutorial when I made bubu dresses, that you're going to start measuring from the center of your neck, the back, the center. Then you take it down to where you want the sleeve to get to. So for this person, the sleeve length is 16 inches. So I'll just add 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I have 17. Now from here, I'm going to rule 17 all the way down so I can cut off the excess that we don't need. So I'm going to cut it off now. Because this is folded into 4, so we are cutting both the front and the back together. Now you're going to measure the neck width. So I'll be using 2.5 for this tutorial. For the back neck depth, I'm going to be using 2 inches for the back neck depth. So you can use 1.5 or 2 inches, but I'll be using 2 inches. So I'm connecting it this way. Now, after this neck width, guys, you're going to mark your client's shoulder measurement. The shoulder is 15 inches. Indicate it here like this. Then on this shoulder, you come down here by 1 inch. So from there, you're going to connect from this 1 inch to the 2.5 inches width. So just make it a slant form because we're trying to get the shoulder slant now. So rule it this way. I hope you can see what I did. So from here, you're going to connect to the 1 inch on the shoulder measurement. Then you take it, rule it slant, let it go down. So guys, after this now, the next thing we're going to get is the sleeve opening. Now, because this is a cut together with the sleeve, it does not have any sleeve joining. It is being cut together. That was why we took the sleeve measurement. That's where you want the sleeve to get to on your body. So from here, guys, I'm going to be marking 8.5. Now, guys, I'm going to just add shoulder allowance of ½ inch on this point. Then on this point also, you rule ½ inch. So that when I'm cutting it off, I already have my shoulder allowance for joining allowance. Guys, from this point here, we went down here by 8.5. You're going to come in by 2 inches because we are trying to get the curve so that you can curve it, you can cut it off like this. Then from these 2 inches points that I mark here, you come down by 1.5. You come down by 1.5. Can you see from here, you come in here by 2 inches. Then from here, you come here by 1.5. So you just connect, curve like this. So that, because the reason why we're doing this is for you to have an easy curve. So can you see the curve? The curve is just like this. Guys, the next thing is to get your hip length. The hip length for this tutorial is a hip length of 25 inches. So I'm just going to rule the straight line like this. I hope you can see my chalk. So this is the hip length. Now, my client's hip is a hip of 38 inches. That's 38 divided by 4. We have 9 inches. So you're going to indicate the 9 inches this way. So you add 4 inches for ease. 9 inches, then you add 4 inches. So whatever you have here, you're going to take it straight down. Let's connect our lines together. So from this 1 point, we came down here, from here 2 inches, from this 2 inches 1.5. So you're going to connect it to the hip measurement. Then from this hip measurement, you take it straight down to meet the measurement at the down part. I'm going to cut the back neckline first. You cut it together so that you can remove the back later and work on the front. Now I'm cutting it plus the shoulder allowance. Now on this point here, this sleeve opening here, you're just going to start covering from here to meet the 1.5 this way. Yeah, so you take it down. For this client, this is how she wants it. If you want it fuller than this, it's from your sleeve length, you get it very full. From your sleeve length, that is when you can do 20 inches, you can do 17, you can do 20 something upward. So that depends on how full your design will be, but this is what she wants. Now for the front neck, guys, I'm going to be putting in her breast point. Her breast point is, so the breast point here is 10 inches. So you indicate the 10 inches here. So let's remove the back so that we can cut out the neckline for the front. This 10 inches here, you're just going to go in by 1.5. So mark the 1.5. So this is the 1.5, mark it. Then you connect it from this 1.5 to the neck width. Start cutting from this part. You cut like this and you stop at the 1.5 this way. Then on this point here, you start cutting it. You cut it off. Okay, so this is what we cut off from it. Then after cutting it off this way, guys, you're just going to notch here a little, notch here in a triangle form, like slant form. You're just going to slant it this like this. You just notch half-inch notching. Yeah, so this is it. You're just going to notch it like this. Now this is our fabric. This is how the front is looking like. So always make sure you know the back and front of your fabric. You will take the back. You're going to place it on each other, right side to right side, and you will be joining the shoulder together. The shoulder with half-inch. You join from here to this side, half-inch. You join from here to this side with half-inch. Now let me join the shoulder. Can you see? This is the shoulder joining. Now I'm going to be putting pockets on this dress from the hip line. From this hip line, we have the hip line already. Hip line of 25 inches from the shoulder line. So you're just going to, this is it here, 25 inches. Now you're going to go up from the hip line by 7 inches or 7.5. So let me do 7.5. So you mark the 7.5 this way. Now you also, on this side, you get your 25 inches of hip line. You rule it. Then you go up by 7.5. You also indicate it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to notch it. Just notch it a little. Notch the upper part here, and on the hip line also notch it. Then You do the same thing for this side. You notch, then you also notch the hip. You also notch the hip line. So before we continue with the neck design, let us fix our pocket. Let us quickly join pocket. Your leftover fabric, because this is what I have left after cutting the upper one from it. Now you're going to fold it like this. The pocket is going to be 4 pieces, so it is very easy. Pocket is not difficult. Now the length I have here after folding is 18.5, so I think that is okay. Now fold again into 2. Can you see? Now it's going to be into 4. So you're just going to mark from here, from this starting line here, you're going to mark 8 inches. So you just place your hand this way. The way you see my hand, you just place it like this. Then you just start tracing from here. Just curve it this way. Can you see the way I place my hand? Just place it like this, and you curve like this to this point. So it is just very simple. So you cut this one, the straight line. So guys, this is the pocket. It is ready. Now you're just going to divide it into 2 because we need 4 pieces. So we have 4 pieces. Now you can see the way the shape is going. It's going like this because when you put your hand into your pocket, it's always going down. So you just notch this upper part, so you know where you're going to start sewing. You know that this place is the upper part and this place is the down part. Now let's attach it with pins before I sew. Always make sure it is right side to right side before you start pinning. Now this is the right side of the fabric, the good side. So remember that before you start pinning, because our pocket is going to go inside like this. Okay, so you repeat the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to be sewing it now. I'll sew here, then sew all the 4 sides. Okay guys, I'm just going to remove the pins now. So look at it. After stitching it, this is how it's going to go inside. So I'll remove all the pins on the 4 pockets. Then we'll work on the neckline before we'll close the sides together. This is our neckline for front and back. After joining the shoulder, this is what we have. So the next thing we'll do is I'm going to measure. Look at this front notch. Remember that notch on both sides. So I will measure from here round, then to this place I will stop. So whatever I have is what I will cut on the band. The total of what I have here is 30 inches. I have 30 inches here. So I'm going to place it aside. What I'll cut is a band of 2.5 inches. That is, on fold is 2.5. notch the middle point. So notch the middle like this. Then you take your fabric and you start sewing from the notch middle point here. Then the center back, the notch part and the center back have to align together. So you place it this way and you use your pins to hold it. After pinning everything like this, you can see we have excess here and we have excess here. So you're going to start sewing from this notch part. Remember that front notch, that's where you start sewing. You sew with 1/2 inch, then you stop also on this notch part also. That's where you stop sewing from. So let me sew it, then I will now weave. After sewing, I'll just weave these rough edges, then I'll show you guys. Guys, this is it. After sewing it and weaving the rough edges, this is what we have. Now this is the right side, that's the good side, the front. I'm going to be turning it to the back now. So when I turn to the back, then you bring this one inside. Now look at this notch part and this notch part. So you're just going to raise it up this way. When you raise it up, you raise it like this. So when you raise the two up, it's going to be like this. Then this one is going to lap on it, just the way you see me doing like this. So by the time you raise it up, it is going to lap on each other. Can you see it lapping? Yes. So you're now going to start sewing from this notch part. You sew a straight line to meet the second notch part. I don't know, let me explain again. Can you see that it is standing like this? Normally this is how it's supposed to be. So you're just going to raise it up. When you raise it up, it's showing something like this. So you just place it like this. Then you place this one too, like this. From this notch part here, look at the notch part we have here and the second notch part here. You're just going to sew a straight line. Now if you cannot sew it, because it is lapping on this part here, if you know you cannot sew a straight line, just use your pins to hold this part down so you can have it. Is easy, it's not difficult. When you are making yours, you'll see it. Now you are going to sew from this notch to the second notch. So when you sew and you turn it at the back, you will see how it looks like. So let me sew. So mates, after sewing the band to the neckline, now the next thing we are going to do is to put that design at the front. The length I need is a length of 13 inches. Then I'm going to use a width of 13 inches also. I'm just going to rule it so I can cut it off. Guys, this is what we need. Now I'm going to be gumming it with paper gum. Now after gumming it, this is what I have. So I'm going to be folding here. I'll leave this upper part. I'm not going to fold this upper part. So I'll fold here, I'll fold here, I'll fold here with 1/2 inch. So this is how you fold. You fold inside with 1/2 inch. Guys, this is what you're going to have on the outside after folding. Now we're going to be putting that curvy effect here. And how do you do that? So you're going to take your chalk. On this part, this side here, you go up by 5 inches. You can decide to do the curve on any parts you want. It could be here or it could be here. So here I went up by 5 inches. From this side like this, you're going to measure 4 inches. Now this is 5 inches is 4 inches. So this is how you're going to fold it. You're going to take the two on both sides, just the way you see me doing like this. So you're now going to bend it this way. Do you understand? You're going to bend it this way and you will iron it. So when you iron, from the outside is like this. Can you see the shape? Now I'm going to be cutting this excess one off. We don't need it. So you're going to cut it off and you leave like ½ inch. You're going to fold this upper part into two and you make sure you get the middle point. You can notch it a little or you use your chalk to just indicate that middle line. So when you get your middle line, you will now place it on the neckline, the neck of the design. You make sure the middle part also matches the middle part. Then you sew ½ inch. So when you sew ½ inch, you're now going to turn it this way. So this is how it is going to look like on your fabric. I did not know my camera was not playing when I did this, so that was why I decided to do a separate tutorial on it. So you're going to place it on your design, this upper part, this one here, the neckline. So you place it on it like this. Can you see it? Then you sew with ½ inch. You make sure the middle part touches the middle part of your neck. So you're going to place it this way and you sew. So when you sew with ½ inch, it will now look like this. So when you turn it like this, it is giving you something like this. Now I'm going to gum it. I'll be using Emi gum. So I'll just place the Emi gum inside this way. Now I'm going to sew here because you have to use the matching thread. So you're going to sew here like a top stitching. Just sew on it this way, like this and like this, and you stop here. So the next thing is to join the sides together. So you're going to turn it like this. Let your shoulder points match each other. Pocket is going to face like this, ½ inch. Then you continue the ½ inch from this pocket this way. You continue it like this. Then here also ½ inch. When you get to this part also, you sew ½ inch down, all the way down. Then you do the same thing on the second side. This you continue ½ inch like this, round like this. Then you sew ½ inch down. I've joined the sides together. So look, this is the pocket. Then I'm going to turn it to the good side. Let's see how it's looking like. This is our pockets. Can you see the way my hand is going inside? This is the second pocket, like this. So I'm going to iron the sides very well. After ironing it very well, I'm going to weave, then turn this sleeve inside with ½ inch. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Then for the hemline, I'm also going to weave it and turn it.
So mates, this is the end of the tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like this video, share it, drop a comment for me, let me know your thoughts, and if you haven't subscribed till now, kindly subscribe and turn on the bell. I'll see you all next time. Bye.